I remember the first time I ever got in trouble at school. I was in the 3rd grade, and my friend Cole and I had discovered this cool new mysterious thing. It was the middle finger. Given that me and Cole were only 8 years old at the time, we didn't really understand what this amusing flip of the finger really was. One day, my teacher left the room, leaving me, Cole, and everyone else all alone. Suddenly, there were a bunch of little kids running around, flipping each other off, trying to be cool, just like the older kids. It was all fun and games until my teacher came back and furiously realized what the new 3rd grade trend was. We got in trouble, yeah, but we moved on and made a laugh out of it. A few years later, I was starting middle school. I was 11 years old when I found out that Cole had attempted suicide by jumping off a building not far from my school. It was shocking, not only for me, but for literally everyone else. No one had noticed that he was depressed, let alone suicidal. We had lost touch, but I had always thought of him as the goofy kid from class. But life happens. About a year later, maybe less, I saw an overwhelming amount of people hurting themselves. Both these scenarios have one thing in common, and that's depression. Feeling sadness is normal. That's a part of the natural human cycle. What's concerning is when you have these bad feelings for a prolonged amount of time, which could be weeks to months to years. That's the issue with depression. It's persistent and interferes with day-to-day life. The human mind is remarkably complex, and as most of us know, or have possibly forgotten, adolescence is a difficult period of time. Emotions are high and sad feelings can become increasingly difficult to navigate. Yet, depression is made out to be an adult affliction. No one can deny, especially parents, that teens can be irrationally moody and sometimes difficult to understand. Yet, parents overlook the possibility of depression when teens act out. But paying closer attention can literally save a life. 3.1. It's not a random number. There are 3.1 million teenagers from 12 to 17 who struggle with depression. That's a large number and a growing number. Allow me to present to you a goal, and it is to prevent depression before it starts, and early intervention. But we need to address the problem, and it's the strongly built stigma surrounding depression, which is a result from the various misconceived beliefs among the public. Some of these include that people with depression are unstable, that they're a threat to themselves or others, only weak or ugly people can get it. If you hang out with someone who's depressed, you'll catch it. That it's something to hide and be ashamed of. Whether these stigmas are real or perceived, they have a dangerous impact on people who are depressed. People with depression fear stigma, and it causes them to avoid seeking help, or in some cases, discontinue treatment. It quite literally forces them to put a mask on. When most people think of depression, it flies over their head that it isn't voluntary. But not everyone with depression is going to look a certain way or be threatening other people. It's like labeling a large group as one, seeing a rainbow in just one color. In some ways, we can only understand what we can see. For example, when we look at an old lady struggling to cross the street, we know it's not her fault. We know she can't just snap her fingers and magically be able to effortlessly cross the street. Would be amazing, but life doesn't work like that. It's the same for depression. And it would make such a difference if we start to realize this. They can't just snap out of it, be happy, and get over it. Depression should not be taboo. It should not be something to hide as if a crime, and it most definitely should not be something to be criticized for. All of us, everyone in this room, have so much more in common than we think we do. There are so many issues revolving around so many things. And I know we don't have the cure for depression, but we do have the cure for stigma. And it's to be compassionate, to empathize, and to understand. I don't know where Cole is today, or how he's doing, but I'd like to think that he's found his safe space to talk about his disease, and not be ashamed of what other people think. That goes out to anyone who's come face to face with adversity. And although this is only one small step towards a secure environment for everyone here, I'm excited to see how together as a community we can get there. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.